Hello everyone and welcome back to Code Step by Step. So guys, we know that in JavaScript interviews, logical, tricky and output based question can be asked. That's why I created a list of 50 questions that can help you out to crack the JavaScript interviews, and all of these questions are logical and output based. There is no theoretical question at all. So you can see that all questions are commented out there. So how we will proceed with these questions? So what we will do, we will just uncomment one question. I will tell you the output. Then we will just check that output on the browser. We will discuss the logic behind that output, and after the first question, then we will jump on the second and third and so on, right? One more thing guys, so let's say if you want to check out your knowledge about these questions, you can pause the video before telling me the output, and then you can just check your knowledge out also about these questions. So let's start with the first question. So I'm just uncommenting it, and here you can see that we have a function named fruit, and we have two console.log there, right? First one is printing the name, second one is printing the price. But you can say that name is a kind of variable and price is basically a let, or you can say that literal. So what should be the output of these two console.log? Will they give error, they will be undefined, or they will print these values? So the answer is first console.log will give you the undefined and second one will give you the error. Why, I will tell you, but first of all let's check the output and verify this. So let me just refresh it, and here you can see that line number 4 and 5, you can see that, right? So first one is undefined and second one is giving the reference type error. Why this is happening? See, here JavaScript hosting rule is basically hosting rule is applied there. Why? See, whenever we are declaring any variable in hosting, it allows us to use that variable before declaring it. We are using it and after that we are declaring it. So in JavaScript hosting that is allowed. That's why this is not giving any error or anything else. It will just give undefined. So now you may think that what is the purpose if it will always give the error? So we can just simply use it like name banana, right? We are not declaring it, we are just assigning a value there, right? And after that we are declaring it. So it will give the proper output. There is no issue, right? So that's why it will just give the undefined in our case as the hosting rule. But hosting rule is basically not applied on the literal and constant. So we cannot use literals and constant before declaring them. We have to declare first like this price, and we can use them. Even this is not allowed. If you're just thinking about this, price is let's say 30 or something. Let me just correct this spelling. This will also not allowed. We must have to put there let if we are using literal there, right? So the reason behind is that because hosting don't allow us to write literal, use literal before declaring them, and variable is basically allowed to use before declaring them. That's why we are getting name as undefined and error in price. All right. So now if you still have any kind of question related to about any question and you need any further explanation, you can ask me in the comment box, right? Even I will create a different short like 30-40 second video on that any question about your questions. And please don't forget to subscribe my channel, and please like this video also. So now let's jump on the second question. So this is look like very basic question, but output is there little bit tricky. You can see that we have a for loop, and I is basically a type of variable because this is the trick there, right? So if we'll use where there, the output will be different. If you will use let there, the output will be different. I will show you the let case also, but let's take a look on the where case first. So we have a set timeout inside this console.log, and what should be the output of this console.log? You may be thinking like 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 or 1, 1, 1, 0, 0. There can be lots of cases, right? So the output will be 3, 3, 3. Why, I will tell you, but first of all let's just try to run it on the browser. Here you can see that we got 3 times 3. All right. So that is okay, but why we are getting this? See, whenever we are using any literal with the start with the variable, if we have variable, this have global scope, this has global scope. That's why because you know that a set timeout will take some time to provide the output, right? And before that, loop is basically finished before this set timeout, right? So what actually happened, the I value in global scope is basically 3, and after that set timeout will print basically 3 times console.log, console.log, and console.log, and that time the I has the value 3 in global scope. That's why it will just set it there 3 for all cases, right? So now let's move on another. See, these questions are, you can say that most FAQ kind of questions, right? Most frequently asked questions. So don't miss these questions. So now let's talk about third one. So here we can see that we have a let rather than var. So what will be the output in that case? The output will be basically 0, 1, 2. So now let's run it and check it out. Here you can see that 0, 1, 2. So why is that now? See, let don't have global scope. It has only you can say that block scope. It will just run only this block. That's why this have, for every set timeout, it has the different value. Variable has global scope, that's why it have the same value for all console.log. Here let don't have global scope, that's why this has the block level scope, right? That's why whenever we will just every time set timeout will be run, it will give the different value, right? And most of time they give you the both situation and ask the question about this, and then they will say that let's compare it both of them, right? All right, so after that, now let's talk about 2 more console.logs. So here you can see that we have a first of all, let's go one by one. So we have a true value and we are putting the plus before it. Then what should be the type of, or what should be the answer first of all, then we will check the type of it, right? So if I'm just commenting now both of them, then I will tell you the answer of first one is 1 and the answer of second one is basically number. Why? See, whenever we are putting plus sign before any string value or boolean value, it will convert it to the numeric value, and true is basically 1 in numeric value, and whenever we will check the type of it, it will always give the number. And now you can see that 1 and number, right? If we have that that one also, then still it will give the number, because if we are using plus sign before boolean and string value, it will convert it to the numeric value or number value. All right, so now let's check out the again. Here you can see that, right? So if you have a string value and I have negation before it, then what should be the output of it? And the second thing is you can, one more thing that which is very important, we can check the type of with a two-way. First one, type of means what is the type of that variable or that constant or literal, right? So we can just simply use that keyword, or we can just use it as a function, right? So let's come back here. Okay, so let me just comment it out first. Yeah, right. And yeah, I was actually forgot to tell you the output. So the output in first case will be false. Why? Because this is a string, and if we will just make it negation, that means that is the opposite value. And what is the opposite value of string? Basically false, right? After that we have a string value, and if we don't have any negation before it, then it will be the string. And let me just refresh it, and you can see that false and string. Even I can show you, if we have a hello and if you have negation before it, it will just convert it to the false. And if you want to convert it to the true, then you can just simply use their double negation mark before it, and that will be string converted in the boolean value. All right, so now let's move on the next one, which is, okay, so this is little bit large. So We have a literal, it could be a variable constant also, it doesn't matter. We data and its value have size. After that we have a object name of word and it have a key size. Keep in mind we have again its key with the name of size, right? So let's say I am using their bird. After that I am using the brackets and I'm putting there, oh, let me zoom it out a little bit so that you can just see it more clear, right? So yeah, so in first case what we are using here, we are using that variable inside the bracket. So what should be the output in first case? In second case we have bracket, we have bird and we have bracket with it, and we are using size inside the quotes. After that we are using bird dot size directly, and at last we are using bird and that variable. Then what should be the output if in both in all of four cases? You can guess it. I am just giving the answer. In first, second and third we will get small, right? And in last one we will get basically undefined, right? So let's check it. Okay, so you can just remove this hello, and now you can see that first three are small and next one is undefined. Why? Let me just explain it. So whenever we have any object and we want to just pass that key as a variable or any dynamic key, that time we can use these brackets, and inside these brackets we can also use a string value like this, right? And we can provide the actual key, that will also work. And third way we can use bird dot that property, that will also work. But if you are trying to use like word and any variable name, right, like then it will not gonna work. If you want to use it, we have to use it the brackets without dot, then it will work like a first case, right? So that's why the first three values are small and next one is you can say that undefined. So now let's check the another case and see, this is a very common case, and for beginners and for you can say that freshers or who has just one or less than 1 year of experience, this question, there is a really high chances that this kind of question can be asked. So we have a variable literal with the name of C, it have a property name, the name is Peter, right? And the both name are same, right? So what I'm just going to do, I'm just making it change it. So first of all we have a C variable and it has a name with the property name and the value is Peter. After that we declare one more variable with the name of D. So if I'm saying variable, that means I'm talking about that let, right? Because we most of the time sometimes we use variable, sometimes we use literal, so that is okay to say that variable. So I just assign my C variable to the D. That means this copy is also transferred to the D, right? And after transferring it, what I did, I just changed the property of the variable C name. I just made the name Peter to Anil in variable C. So the in D dot name, that will be Peter or that will be Anil. The question is that, right? So the answer is the D dot name is basically Anil. Let me show you first, then I will give you the answer. You can see that Anil. Now the question is why? Because in D we just copy that variable C and then we change the variable C. Whenever we are using object, it will basically use you can say that the reference type. The data is stored on one place, and if we just change in variable C, then it will automatically change in variable D, because both has the same memory reference, right? So if I just with the same way, if I have the E variable and if I just change the value of C, then the value of D and E also changed, right? All right, so now let's move on the question number 8. Here you can see that we have a variable X. Again I declare the variable X again and then output. So we declare the same variable 2 times. Then what will it give any error, it will give any undefined, or what it will give, right? So you can think the output is basically 10. We can declare one variable again and again, there is no problem. I can show you there also, that is 10, that is absolutely fine. But now let's take a same case with the let's say we have a one variable and we have one literal with the same name. That time it will give error. I can just show you, you can see that, right? Because a variable has a global scope and we can declare the global properties again and again, and literal don't allow us to do that, right? That's why if we have variable, we cannot declare the literal with the same name. Yes, but if we have the different scope, then we can declare what is that scope, what I'm talking about, I'll tell you in the upcoming video, right? In upcoming questions. So now for a moment you can see that we cannot declare a let and var with the same name. It always gives the error. Okay, so now let's talk about one more case. We have a let a with a value of 3, and we have a let b, and we have a new number 3. Then if we will compare the console.log a double equal with double equal to and triple equal to, then what should be the output? In the case of double equal to, they are okay, the both are same, there is no issue. But in the case of triple equal to, the both are different. Why, I will tell you, but first of all let's check the output. You can see that true and false, that is true, and third one is false. Why? See, value of a and b are same, but data type is different. If you will check the data type of that b, then you will find this is an object. Whenever we are just making a new keyword with the number class, that time it always give a object, and our object and number they can be same if we are matching the value, but if we are matching the type, the both are not same, right? All right, so now question number 11. So I have a let with the name of name. I didn't make assign it value anything, but after that what I did there, I just misspelled there. There is a typo, like name spelling is mismatch, NMAE. And if I'm just trying to just print this name, what I will get? We will get undefined. Why? I'll tell you. You can see that, right? Why? See, this is a totally different case. It's like this is a different variable. If I just comment it out, what will actually happen? We just declare it, but we did not assign any value. That means this is undefined now, right? Don't be confused with this value, because if there is another spelling or typo, that means this is a completely different variable, right? Okay, so now move on the next one. So again, so I have a function with the name of fruit, and we are just consoling their wolf. Okay, I just assign a property to that function. So maybe I just think that this is an object. By mistake I assigned a property to it, even that is a function. So whenever I will just run this function, so what it will give any error, or it will just print the normal values, or what will happen? So that will work completely fine, there is no issue. Let me show you. You can see that we got the wolf. Okay, all right. So okay, we got that wolf. If I am just running it, if I'm just not using console.log, it will still work fine, there is no issue. By mistake I made two console. You can see that the output is same. Why it will not make an impact? See, if in any function or in any object, if you will just make some extra properties or extra keys, it will not make any effect to that function. That will be perfectly fine, right? So if you will just make one key or two or three keys, then it will not make any change there. Okay, so now this question is related to the string and numeric value. So we have a sum function, and in sum function what I return there. Okay, so what I passed there, 1 is a numeric value and 2 is basically a string value. Then what should be the output of that case? The output will be 12, and I'm sure that is really easy question. So let's see the output. We can see that 12. Why we are getting 12? The reason is if we have one string value and one numeric value and one string value, the both are work like a string value, and if you will add these string to two strings, they will actually concatenate, right? They are not actually adding 1 plus 2 is 3, they will make them 12. That is a string kind of 12, and they are concatenate these two values. All right, so now let's move on the next thing. Okay, this is really tricky question, and this is my favorite question. Sometime I ask that kind of question in the interviews. So let's say we have a number, you can see that its value is 0, and there is a 3 console.log number plus 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 number and number. Then what should be the output? Okay, I'm just telling you the output. Now first case we will get 0, and in second and in third case we will get 2. Why, I'll tell you, but first of all let's check the output. 0 and 2 2. Why? In first console.log we print it, and after that the increment will work. That's why it will just return 0, and then it will make increment. And in second console.log it already made one increment. That means this value is 1 after just console.log. After that this value is 1, and we just add 1 1 before printing it, right, before this number. That's why this value is 2. And in third one we are not making an increment. That's why this is already 2. All right. Okay, so next question is, yep, I will just explain it a little bit more because that is really important. See, we have a function with the name of age, get age, and if I am passing something here and I am just using spread operator there, right? So what will be the type of that argument? Is it object or is it array, right? So let me just hide it first, and let me show you what we are getting there. You can see that we are getting a array. You can see that, right? So if I'm just checking the type of it, what do you think? What should be the type of this? Array? No. The type of this is object, like this. Even if you will just check a type of this array, then this is object. In JavaScript they think that nothing is array, there is only object, right? So that's why the type of this argument is basically object. All right, so now again we have a similar kind of question. Again we have a get age, and we are consoling.log something there, right? But we did not use here let or var something, and we are using strict use there. So then what should be the output? So that will automatically become a variable or something else. The answer is the output is error there. Let me show you first. You can see that age is not defined. So we are using the strict mode. That's why we must have to put their variable or something. After just putting your variable or literal, it will not give error, right? So if you will use strict mode, then we cannot use hosting concept there. So if I just remove there, then you will find that this is working fine, right? So this is the impact of use strict mode. Okay, so the next thing is we have a constant with the name of sum, and there is a eval function. So what that eval function will do, it will basically perform any what you can say that operation of its parameter. Then what should be the output of in that case? So the output is like, because the both are in string, so the output is 10 10 5, or what should output? What do you think about this? Okay, let me just tell you the output first. The output is basically 105. We know that this is a string, but eval basically take a string, but it will just make them numeric values, 10 into 10, 100, and then it will plus 5 there, because priority of multiplication is higher than 5. That's why multiplication will happen first, then 5 will be added. We can check that output there, and here we go, 105. All right, next question. Yeah, this is a little bit theoretical question, but why I am putting that theoretical question? I told you that there is a no theoretical question. See, one that question, or you maybe get one more question. That question are, you can say that if you will give 20 interview now, then in maybe 10 or 12 interviews this kind of question can be asked. So the question is really simple. We have a session storage, we stored something there, then how long it will be just accessible in our browser. You may just think maybe 2 hour, 60 minute, 1 day, 2 day, 1 week, or 30 days. See, this is a session storage. So session storage will be automatically removed whenever you will close the tab or close the browser also, because whenever you will close the browser, all tabs are closed, right? So but if there is a session storage, that will be that can be accessible till, I guess, 1 month. If you are using it again and again, the value will be increased. Otherwise, if the value will be used for 30 days around, and you can set the value manually also for what you can say that local storage. For session storage, it will be removed once you will just close that tab. Okay, again, another nice question. We have an object, and it has a key 1, 2, 3, and it has some values like A, B, C. So if I'm just checking here, object dot has one property 1 as a string, then what output will be there? And if I just check here, object dot has property with 1 like numeric value, then what should be the output if in that case? So we have to make their console.log, right? So let me make here console.won or console.log. I'm putting this value here, and I'm doing the same thing for another also. Till that you can just think about it. Console.log like this. So the output of in both cases, that will be true. I can just show you there. You can see that. So you can check the property by numeric as well as the string value. If there is a you can say that numeric value. So if there is a like property like hello, then you must have to only use string, right? If you will just use this string directly like this, that thing they are that syntax will think that this is a variable name, and there is a no variable name as a string. So if you have a numeric value, then you can numeric key, then you can use and you can check it as a string as well as numeric. But if you have string value, then you must have to only with the string value only. Okay, so the next thing is, okay, let me just comment it out because both has the same constant. So here you can see that we have a key A, B and C. You can see that, right? So but A is repeated here. We have A, then B, and then again A. We don't have C by mistakenly. So if I just print that object, what output will be there? Like it will give any error, or it will just print A as 1 or A as 3 or undefined or something else. So the output is basically like A repeat B 2. Why, I will tell you. But first of all, let's check it. A repeat and B 2, because we override that A property with a different value. That's why it will just pick up the next value, but the position of that key will be the same in JavaScript. Alright, so now let's talk about the another one, which is question number 20. So we have a for loop, and if we are checking that if I value is 3 there, like this loop is starting from 0 to 5. So if we are just checking that I value is 3, we are just continuing, we are just putting a keyword continue. So in that case, what will be the output of this console dot, like 1 2 3 4 5 or 1 2 4 5? or 1 2 3 4. So what should be the output in that case? So the output will be 1 2 4, 0 1 2 4. Whenever we will just I will check with the 3, it will just directly exit that for loop. It will not go to that console.log. Let me show you. Here you can see that 1 2 4, there is a no 3. Nice. Okay, so now the question number 21. Again, this is a big question. So we has 3 functions, foo, bar, buzz, right? And we are just calling them. So what output we will see first in console? First thing that you may have to just keep in mind, function declaration doesn't matter. You can declare any function below, after, anything. It doesn't matter. Function calling is matter. So we have to check their function calling. So whenever we are talking about bar, then you can see that there is a set timeout. And whenever we are checking the set timeout, that means normal function will be execute first, then set time function will be called, right? So it will be called at the last, so we will not considering it first. Foo function, this is basically a simple console, so it will execute first, then buzz, third one. So this is also a simple one. So first will execute first, then third, and then second. Now let's see, first, third, and second, right? All right, so now get back to that question number 22. You can see that we have a button, we has 2 div also. So on the all of these buttons, we have a console.log. So if I just click on there, then which console.log will be populate first, display first, then which one was the last? So the first one will be button, then second, and then first div. Let me show you, then I will explain it. I'm just clicking over it. You can see that button, second, and first div. Because whenever we are just clicking any event, it will basically making a bubble from inside to outside, right? So what it will do, it will just console this button first, then second div, then first div, as mentioned there. All right, so let me comment out it again. Yeah. All right, so next is so this is again a little bit logical tricky, you can say that. So we have a function there, sorry, we have a constant there, the name of person, the property name is name Linda there, okay? Not Linda, Lydia is there. So again I have a function with the name of say hi. So if I just put here say hi dot call, and then I'm just putting this person name like this, and with age also. Even if you want, then you can, okay, age is also fine, there is no issue, right? Person and age. Then what should be the output? And if I use their bind, then what should be the output? Okay, let me tell you the output. In first case, this will be Lydia is 21, and in second one it will return a function. Why it will return a function, I will tell you, but first of all let's check the output. You can see that Lydia is 21, and in second case you can see that this is returning a function, because whenever we are binding any function, we again have to call it like this. But whenever we are just calling this function, we don't need to just you can say that call it again, right? So now if you will just call this function say hi with bind, then it will work as same as call. You can see that, right? So this kind of question can be asked, like what is the difference between call and bind. All right, so now question number 24. So let's say we have say hi function again, and it has returned some, we are returning something inside it, and inside the return statement we has a arrow function also, that is immediately calling. Then what should be the type of that function? You may say that error, or maybe undefined, or something else. The output will be number. Why number? I'll tell you, but first of all, let's check the output. You can see that. Why? See, we are just calling this say hi, right? If I just remove this type of, first of all, to make it easy, I just calling this say hi function, right? And this is returning something here, which is you can say that arrow function, and this arrow function is calling immediately after that. You can see that, like we just call that bind function, right? So what it will return, that arrow function, it will return 0, and if this say hi has return, say hi has 0 as a return, then the type of 0 is basically a number, right? You can see that arrow function will return 0, and after that say hi again will return 0. That's why the type of this is 0, sorry, number. You can see that. So if I just put here like hello, then the output will be string. I can show you there. You can see. Okay, so let me just comment it out. All right, so now we have the, you can say that, the smaller version of this. So now what we will have, that the type of that function, because in last time the difference is we are just calling this function immediately, like we has this and we are calling this like this, but now we has this arrow function which is not called. So what is the type of that? Say hi. The type of that is function. You can see that. All right, function. Let me show you. If I just uncomment it, if I just remove this type of, you can see that we have a arrow function there. So if I just called it like this, and then if I'm checking here, it will return 0, and you can just say that type of, and the output will be number, right? So let me just come back here. Then if you have returned a arrow function and this is not executed, that means the type of that function is basically number. Let me just put here type of, and this is function, sorry, my bad. Okay, and after that, let me just check the type. We have a console.log type of 1. Okay, the output is string. First of all, I'm telling you, then why I'll tell you. You can see that string. Okay, why? See, we know that if I'm just checking the type of 1, that is number. You can see that, but number is a string itself, right? So if I just check the type of number, number string, that is basically a string. All right, so question number 27. All right, so there is a 2 questions which are you will see that very similar, but the output is really different. You can say that we have an array with the name of numbers, and it has only 3 values, and if on the 9th position, if I'm just adding here 11, then what will happen with the 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 values, right? So the first of all, I'll tell you the output. The all value will be empty between the like this is the 0th value, this is the first value, this is the second, and from 3 to 8 the all values are empty, and you will find something like empty into number of time like 7 or 8. You can see that 6, sorry, like 1, 2, 3, these 3 values. After that 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? The all values are basically empty. That's why this is showing. So this is basically, sorry, this is basically a 0 position, then 1, then 2, and then 3 position, 4 position, 5 position, 6, 7 and 8 positions are empty. That's why this is showing empty into 6. So if I'm just putting here let's say 6, that means only this is starting from 0, 1 2 3 4 5 values are empty, that's why this is showing that empty into 3, and sixth value is basically 11. You can see that, right? Right. So now we have a same kind of output like this. So let me make it more simpler, but more simpler like this first. Then I will just we have a array with an 3 values, like position on 0 1 2, and on a fourth position, right, on a fourth position. So even you can just put here third position, because this is the 0th position, 1 position and 2 position. So if I'm just assigning this array again, then what will happen? The output is the third position, basically after the 0 1 2 3, third position will be give you the infinite array. How? Let me show you. So let's open the 0 1 2 3 third position. You will again find that third position, third position, third position, and so on. Why? Because see, we assign the array again to the same array to the again third position, so it will just again check its third value and assign the complete array, again check the third value, assign the complete array, and all, right? And if I just put here like a 9 10 or some other thing, then it will be pretty same. All between the 3 to 9 values are empty, and then we has that same infinite array like this. Yep. All right, so let me just again comment it out. Okay, so one more theoretical question, but this is not much theoretical question. This is, you can say that, a pretty tricky question, right? So we every time we hear that everything in JavaScript is an object. So is it true or not? I'm giving you 4 answers. The everything in JavaScript is either a primitive or either an object. Then be either function or either a object. Either a tricky question, only object, this is only object, and third one is only object, no, either not a primitive, function or number, and last one is number or object. The answer is either they are primitive or either they are object. So what is the meaning of primitive here? Primitive here, like a primitive data types like boolean, string, number values, like these, right? So in JavaScript, either we have these primitive values, you will check the type, otherwise we have object. You should never say that everything in JavaScript is an object. In JavaScript, everything either is a primitive type or either an object type. All right. So now let's move on the next question. There is a 3 console log. Even I was thinking that let's make it the 3 question for that, but then I thought that the all are similar, so let me just make only 1 question for that. So we have a 3 console.log null value, and then I am putting here double negation mark, this empty value and the one value also. Then what should be the output? Let me tell you. In the first case and in the second case, the output will be what we can say that true, and in last case the value will be false. So let me show you first. Sorry guys, I just mixed up with that. So the first both will be the false and the last one will be the true. Reason I'll tell you. See, whenever we has null value and we just make it negation, that means that is the true value, and again we are making it false, that means this is again the false value. String is basically a kind of, you can say that, negative value, then just make it negation, that means this is again true, and if I just make it again negation, that means false. And with one is basically, you can say that, positive value, and if we will use their negation, that will be negative, and again that will be a positive if we'll use true. I can show you. So let's say we have a null value now, right? So if I just use here 1 negation mark, that is true, you can see that, right? If I just made here 2 negation mark, then it will make it false. Same with the string, if we have 1 negation mark, this is true, with 2 that is false, and with 1 this is by default kind of positive value, and if I just make it negation, then this is false, and if I just put here true negation, that is true. So that is the all logic behind that. Okay, so now you can see that we has a 3 set timeout. You can see that. So my question is not that which one is calling first, which one is calling last. So what they will return, my question is that, is set interval is returning something or not? Yes, they will return something. I'll show you first. Let me just remove that one also. You can see that 1, 2, 3, and after that they will start printing these values like so. Let me just stop them by commenting out that code and refresh it. All right, so we get 1, 2, 3. What are that 1, 2, 3? See, these are the ID of this set interval, because set interval on some time we must have to just stop them, right? Then how we can stop them? Let's say we have 3 set timeout, or let's say we want to remove a second one, then how we can remove that? Because everyone has unique ID, so with the behalf of that ID we can remove any selective set timeout also. They will always give unique ID, as I told you. So if we have only 3, the start value started from the 1. So let's say if I have the 6 set timeout, I hope it will not hang my browser. Now you can see that we got the 6 different values, right? So every time set time interval basically return a unique value, and that is started from the 1. Next question is, we have a console.log destructing before our string, then what should be the output of it? It will convert it to the array, object, error, or it will just separate the anil as a different string. The answer is last one. It will just make the anil as a different string. Here you can see that. So see, what is the purpose of spread operator? Spread operator will destructure. Destructure, what will actually do? It will break our array or object or string in a minimal part. So let's say if I have there is an array. Let me just show you. Like this, right? And if you will just check that output, okay, so here you can see that we are getting string, because whenever we are just adding 2 or more than 2 numbers, even it can be 1 also, 1 or more than 1 numbers with a string, the output will be as a string. Then what should be the output of that one? If you will check there, you will find that the output is basically 75. You can see that, right? Why 75? First of all, it will just add these 2 numeric values, then it will add that 5 value also, right? All right, so the next question is also very similar. Here in last question you can see that we store these all 3 values in a variable, then we just check their then we check their console.log and type of that data, and it told that string. But if I'm just checking directly type of, then what should be the output of? Is it similar or different? The output is different. You can see that number 45. So now you will think that is horrible. What is that? See what actually happening there. First of all, this statement is executed like type of 3, that is number. Here you can see that after that they added the 4 and 5. This is 45. That's why this value is printing like number and 45, right? So if we have type of in a console.log, it will be executed before the numeric operations. All right. So now the question is, let's say you want to resolve that thing. You don't want to execute type of first, you want to execute the value of all of these. Then what you can do? You can simply use one extra bracket and you will find the same output like number, right? So why this is number? Okay, let me just convert it that string first, so that you should not be confused there. String. So now why this is the string there? You can see that a number there. The reason is because we are using here plus operator before the string, and it will make it number, and After, if we will just add number and number, then output will definitely as a number. Okay, so the type of arrays, what should be the type of array? The answer of that question is I already given. This is the object. Many guys actually just miss with that. And one more thing, if you will try to compare two you can say that array, the output is always false. Why? Because the both array has the different memory locations, right? So either you are using double equal to, either you are using triple equal to, they always will be false. So the next question is, we have an array, it has 1 to 3 values, we are using map there, and if they has a numeric type, then we are returning just empty returning here, right? If they don't have numeric type, then we will just make it multiplication. Then what should be the output of that? The output of that is the array will be got undefined for 3 values. Let me show you. All 3 values are undefined. Why? Because all these 3 values are numeric, you can see that, and we are returning from here, and we are not returning some values, we are just returning empty. Empty returns means undefined. That's why we are getting 3 undefined values in array. Okay, so the next question is, so yes, this is really important and really tricky. So we have a function get info, and we have a constant with the name of person. It has key and value pair with the name and Shara. So if I'm just passing this person here in a get info, and inside it we are just using here member dot name is anil, then what should be the output of console.log there? The output is we will get anil. Why, I'll tell you, but first of all let's execute it. You can see that anil. Why? Even we did not make the change any value of this person anywhere. See, we are passing this value to the get info function, and here we are changing value. So whenever we are passing any object to as a parameter, this is passed by reference, right? And we just change this reference from Shara to anil, and the value of person object also be changed. Okay, so the next question is, so let's say I have a function with the name of car, and this dot make, the value of this dot make key is data, and we are returning here make is Kia. Then I am just creating a new object of my function, constructor function, and if I'm just trying to check here my car dot make, then it will return Kia, or the value will be Tata. What should be the answer of that case? Okay, the answer is basically Kia. Why? Because if we have a function and we are returning something here, it will override that key, right? And let me show you. Here you can see that we are getting here Kia. We are returning an object, and if we are just with the same key, because let's say it has the same property and returning object also has the same key, then it will definitely override that our previous key. Alright, so now let's talk about question number 44, and we will get the same kind of 3 or 4 question now, but the output is used different, but you will find that the question is almost same. So we have a arrow function there, you can see that there, right? And this is arrow function, and we are calling it immediately, so we can say that immediately invoke function. And here we have let x and y, and we are assigning here 10. Then what should be the type of x there? Okay, the answer is the type of x is undefined. Let me show you. You can see that. Why undefined? The reason is, see, the scope of this let, whenever we are declaring any var, the scope of that var is basically global variable. But if we are using constant or let, the scope of that let and constant is basically block level, so it can be work only inside that block. That's why if we will check the type of that x outside that block, the output will be like undefined, right? Now we have a similar question, type of question. So what if we will I will check there the type of y. The type of y will be, the answer is number. Let me show you first. And now y. See, maybe you are confusing there, like maybe you are thinking that this is like let x and let y, but not actually, it's not like this. This is a short form of let x and y, like this. And we did not declare here y as a let or const or variable. That means it will automatically grab the variable by default, and variable have the global scope. And if variable have the global scope, it can be accessible outside that function globally. That's why the output is, you can see that number. If I will check the value of it, it will give the 10. You can see that, right? All right, so let me just comment it out, and let's move on the next one. So now you can see that we are declared this let x 2 times. So what should be the output of it? So this will actually doesn't matter, the outputs belong to only there, so it will give error or not. The answer is not. Why? First of all, let's check it. Is it any error? No. Why there is a no error? Reason is because if we will declare to let in a same scope like this, then it will give error. Otherwise it will not going to give any error, because the both let have the different scope. So let me again comment it out. Question number 27. All right, you can see that. So we declared here let x and y 10 and x and y 20. Then what should be we will get inside the y, 10 or 20? The answer is really simple. If you understand the global scope, the answer will be 20. First of all, y is a basically global variable. First value is 10, then it will just come to that point, because y is not only belong inside that, it will belong globally, right? Then the output will be 20. Here we go. All right, so okay, one more similar like of question. So if we has let outside like x is 100, and again inside it x is 20, and if we are printing this x, then what will be the output of that? The output will be 100, because now if we have the same name with the variable with the outside of that scope, then this variable will only you can say that accessible inside that brackets if we have the same type of literal outside that function, right? So now because we have a literal with the name of x, that's why the variable of this x scope is only that, and we will get 100 there. You can see that, right? So now let's say we have a negative, you can say that we have true and we are just making it negative, and when we have minus and true, then what should be the output of this? The output is -1. Why? I'll tell you. You can see that because true is basically has true means 1, and if you will use here negation, that means false, and false will considered as a 0. 0 minus 1 always return -1. And now the last one is you can see that true, and then 2 times plus and then string value. The output is 11. Why? So see, you can see that we have a string value and we are using plus before it. That means it will convert this string value to the numeric, and 10 plus 1 is 11, and that we are getting there. So that's all for this question, and soon you will get this series in the Hindi language also. And if you will give the good response, like I will get more subscriber on that video, more views, like and comments, then I will make a next part of that, like 50 more questions for the JavaScript. Thank you guys, thank you for watching this video.